at now, and have an opportunity to perhaps work with them and collaborate with them and work on some of their projects or form groups with them that will start working on projects and stuff, that's the benefit that you can gain from CBERN as a PhD student, whereas the networking that I've made, and I have some very good colleagues, like friendships that I've created with professors at conferences that I've met elsewhere or at consortiums that I've met, but the opportunity to do research with them isn't necessarily as open or likely as the opportunity to do research with the colleagues in this network already is for me at this point in time. So that's a difference with CBERN.
Mary.
Hi. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mary Rente. I'm the chair of the Social Responsibility Division for ASAC. So in answer to your comment, where would you submit papers?
Not everybody knows what ASAC is.
The Administrative Sciences Association of Canada. We have a conference annually, and I chair the division currently. And so in terms of where to submit, and also to address Chris's response of what's different and what you can get, I think that one of the things this network can offer the PhD students that ASAC or other conferences can't is the bringing together not just of academics but of the professional community, the consultants, etc. So this is a gathering place of all those from multiple disciplines, as well as the fact that we've become very siloed in our approach within our conference stream. So management professors meet together at ASAC, and ethics, I'm sure that you have your own. So this is also a way that we can cross those discipline boundaries in very unique ways. But one of the things I would like this to get out of this weekend with CBERN is ways that that ASAC can help support, particularly looking even at the student issues, maybe a lasting, where there's CBERN sponsors a speaker, or if there's a social event that CBERN can sponsor students to come together, those kinds of things. This is my last year as the division chair, and the people who are going to be moving up into that rank are not associated with the network. I could perhaps bring them into the network, or in my last year create some kind of lasting face for the network so it doesn't get lost, and the business ethics focus of the social responsibility doesn't get lost as well. So we need, I would like input throughout the weekend on that as well.
Thanks, Mary. Okay, Jim, and I think that will be the last comment. We'll move on. Oh, sorry. Oh, Matthew.
Having participated in the development of the clusters program at SSHRC, and having been a student not too long ago, you've both, actually all the students that seem to have addressed the issue of, or the advantage of the networking component of this cluster grant. But part of our intention at SSHRC was also to help train new researchers in knowledge mobilization skills. And I wondered if you could speak to that. Do you see your involvement in the network provide you with knowledge mobilization skills well beyond just the traditional presentation of papers at conferences, etc.?
Kevin, do you want to say anything?
They're thinking.
I could answer.
Yeah,
quickly. Well, one thing that I was thinking as the whole dialogue is going on is that one of the differences with this network versus other activities is that it's not just a social component. It's not just come to our wine and cheese and stand around and talk to the people that you know, and maybe they'll introduce you to someone new that you don't know yet. But when we have our meetings, we're actually working on something. And in that process of working, and for us currently, it's trying to figure out what CBERN can do for everybody who's interested and involved. You're learning the practice of sharing knowledge and creating a knowledge-sharing network and a knowledge-building network. And then I don't think that I could say just yet that CBERN has taught me how to mobilize knowledge, because I think we're still working on figuring out how we're going to go about doing it. But participating in the process of figuring it out is vital to learning how to actually do it. And that opportunity to be part of this as a PhD student is where that learning and training will eventually come from.
Okay, good. Jim, one short comment.
Two, if I may. First, on the subject of conferences, where CBERN, it seems to me, really has an opportunity to be distinctive, is that when you have conferences on business ethics, it's not business ethicists that are there. But as it was suggested earlier, the professionals as well, but I would also say people from other academic disciplines, sociology and law and even theology and mining engineering, and because what we're dealing with are linguistic solitudes. I mean, we already talked about the Anglo-Franco linguistic solitude, but we really have disciplinary linguistic solitudes as well as institutional ones. And so what CBERN really should be trying to do is to broaden the exposure of you to networks that have an interest, and not only an interest, but also are doing some very original research at the cutting edge. I mean, you mentioned, or it was mentioned, that the academic research is often 5-10 years in arrears, and Wes, I think, said it himself, from where the real innovative work is being done, which is often outside of the academic community. And that's where CBERN, I think, really has to make a distinctive contribution. But the second point I want to make is that this is all about creating the relevance of ethics to business and mobilizing knowledge, as was mentioned, more effectively. And I think that CBERN could have a role in helping to institutionalize internships of non-traditional professionals within corporate or other sorts of institutions where this knowledge needs to be applied, but where also the problems that will stimulate further advances in that knowledge are actually being dealt with. And so I think that if this could be a catalyst for that sort of establishment of internships, that would be a tremendous contribution. It's a very rare thing these days. I've hired a few, well, at least one of Wes's students, Neil Shankman, I think was going to be here, for a summer, which wasn't long enough for him really to get involved. So I'm thinking maybe 2 years is the time that is needed. Now that's a chunk out of a professional's life, but I mean, we have engineers in training, we have lawyers articling, we ought to have philosophical ethicists doing something parallel.
Thank you. Good ideas all around. Thanks very much to both of you. There are several PhD students wandering around in this session or in this meeting, so get to know them and explore, and we'll look to see how we can be effective at that level. They have a remarkably important contribution to make to the development of this network. So thank you very much. Good session.